Hello. Um, I think this thing is on and streaming. Okay. So I want I wrote an episode that I really want to record because the way I write my episodes, if you're new to this, is really like I have examples and sometimes I might forget the examples, so I want to record this one especially as soon as possible because I want to I want it to be really good. It's about storytelling and how you can tell a story and how that makes your podcast better. And then how I had the thought to write this episode. And then how I've changed my podcast to fit this model. Alright, I think this one's going to be real quick. Just recording, not like just hanging out. But I will share this with people. Share this with people. Let me just post this on Telegram, and then I'll drink more water. And then let me organize myself. I don't need this here. Okay, here are my notes. Make my notes as long as possible. Drink more water. Adjust the mic. I am so unorganized. But it's funny because it's only on this side of my desk. It's probably because I'm left-handed and everything is on the left. From like my charger to my extra pair of glasses to all my notes that I write down. So yeah. One, two, three. Okay. Building an indie business in the center of venture capital. I'm Alex Edmonds, and this is the Building an Indie Business podcast. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about storytelling and delivery, and this is about how to tell a better story and deliver your message better. And I'm going to talk about how you can do that, why you should do that, how I came up with the idea for this episode. I'm going to give you an example, a bad example, and then I'm going to say what's wrong with it, and then I'm going to improve it. And then we're going to talk about structure, how to structure a story, why focus on this, and the problems that you might run into while doing this for your podcast. Okay, so why do you want to be a better storyteller for your podcast? Because it makes your stories more interesting. So how can you make your stories more interesting? Providing more details, adding tone to your words, delivering your story better, meaning the voice, the way you say it, things like that. Delivery. Oh, I think I said delivery already. Structure. So every story has a beginning, middle, and an end. And that's usually the introduction, conflict, resolution. So, for example, in John Wick, John Wick's dog gets killed. He needs to find the person who killed his dog, and then he, kills them. Okay. So, why bring up storytelling and delivery? So, I was watching this younger comedian. He's about my age. And I was watching his special, and I realized that it just wasn't funny. Like, the way he was telling jokes, his stories. And then I realized it was because he was only really talking. He didn't have, like, a voice or anything. He was basically just talking like this, and he was telling jokes, and he had no delivery. And then I remember seeing him somewhere else, and it was the same thing. His joke was like this, and you could barely tell that he was joking. And then that made me think of other comedians that I love to listen to, and I love to hear their jokes. And I realized what they do versus what he does. And so other comedians, they use their voice. So Bill Burr has a bit about wanting to get a gun. And he talks about how he went into a gun store and started talking to the gun owner, and he used his southern accent. The gun owner, he talked like this kinda, and he said the gun had a nice spread. See, he used different voices to tell a story and make the story more interesting. And this is just like an average day thing. Normal people go into a gun store and they're not able to tell their experience in a gun store like this. Another example is Andrew Dice Clay. When he gives his opinion, he ends it with, "That's what I think." Sorry for yelling, but that's how he ends his story or his opinion. Something he says about his opinion. He ends it yelling, "That's what I think." And what this does is it catches your attention, and so if you zone out during his act, yelling, "That's what I think," will definitely get your attention back on track. And so why I bring this up is because as podcasters, we also use our voice, and we also have to tell stories. So podcasters should learn how to tell a story to use storytelling to get people to listen to their podcast. Okay, so the example I have. My example is, I once convinced everyone in my class that my Russian friend was from Nebraska. So what's wrong with this story? Oh, that's the story. I forgot to say that. That's it. So what's wrong with this example? It's the start of the story. There's no meat. It's short, and it provides no value. It's not funny. There's no lesson. It's just there, hanging out. So how can this story be improved? I can add about how I did convince everyone that he was from Nebraska. So how I did that was every time he brought up his heritage, the fact that he was from Russia, I would interrupt him and say, "Don't you mean Nebraska?" And so he never really corrected me or stopped me from saying that, and that added to it. So yeah, I never let him bring up Russia. Another thing is that this was in college, right? I believe I said that. In college, and this was the fall semester. So we had a lot of holidays coming up at this time. It was October, November, and December. So every time a holiday came up, I would ask in front of the class, because I sat in the front row, about traditions in Nebraska. So I would say, "Hey, his name is Alex. Alex, what is a Halloween tradition in Nebraska. And then he would just like make something up, and it was really ridiculous and funny. Same thing with Thanksgiving in November, and same thing with Christmas in December. Okay, so how do I know people were convinced that he was actually from Nebraska? Someone actually asked him if he was really from Nebraska. Someone was like, "Oh, hey dude, are you actually from Nebraska?" And so, yeah, that made me believe that it actually worked, and I thought that was really funny. And also, you can add random anecdotes as well. Well, not random, but something related that might be funny to your story. So, one thing that I could say was that this joking around and this anecdote that I was creating was during the hardest college class I've ever taken, and I was happy to get a C in this class, C minus in this class, and I had already taken it before and I failed it, so I was retaking the class, but this joke was more important than me doing well in the class. I don't know, I just think that's funny. So, structure. It doesn't have to be, or you can create your own structure around the conflict, the introduction, the conflict, and the resolution. So, if you listen to this podcast constantly, you'll kind of notice that this podcast has its own structure, and it's not intro, or problem, resolution. So the structure for this podcast is say something, why, an example. So I will say something like, I don't know. I don't have an example in my notes right now. Let me hold on. Okay, so I will say something like use email to grow your podcast audience, and then I will say why, like you can grow your podcast audience through email because you're sending the email directly to people, and then I will give you an example like, this podcast I listen to, Software Engineering Daily, I get an email from them every day they have a podcast, and then I look at the email, and if I like the subject line of the email, I will listen to the episode that day. Okay, so also within the structure of say something, why, an example, I have specific things I bring up. So I bring up how to do something, like how to write the email, the benefits of the email or doing email marketing for your podcast, or the problems that you will run into while doing email marketing for your podcast. Okay, so why focus on storytelling? It makes your podcast more interesting. When you do voices or you have like a structure and you're telling a proper story, it makes your podcast more interesting, and a more interesting podcast will get more listeners. Okay, another reason to focus on this is it can be applied to other places in life. So I was being interviewed, and the interviewer asked me about what I did in a previous job, and I kind of had I didn't know how to tell this woman what I did in my job, because it was kind of confusing. I was all over the place, so I kind of just said like, I wrote emails, I helped write the copy of the website. I didn't talk about how the copy wasn't convincing, and I should have, the way I needed to write it was like, no, I should have said it was like this, and I made it like this when I rewrote it. I didn't say that, and so I still got the job, but I was nervous about if I would get the job. So yeah, that's one way you can apply storytelling to other places in your life. Okay, another reason why you should focus on this is because having a set structure for your episodes, it helps you write the episodes better, and it helps you focus on how to write that. Like, having a set structure allows you to not focus on how to structure the episode, and it helps you write better podcast episodes. So I've been doing this structure for at least the year, and if you notice, I think at the very least that my episodes have been getting better. What's the best? So the first episode I started doing this was the how to interview a guest, and I think that is probably one of my best episodes. And ever since then, I've been able to talk longer, and I've been able to sound coherent in the episodes and provide more value to the listeners. Okay. Another reason why, or the final reason why you should focus on this is because people listen to your podcast to get value out of it. And if you aren't producing the best content that you can, you're wasting their time. And time is the only thing you can't get back. So don't waste your listeners' time. You should really be focusing on the listener and providing value that they want and producing things that they want, because it's their time being used to listen to your podcast. I didn't focus on the listener last year, and I really regret that. So I'm trying to provide more value this year to the listener. Okay, finally, the problems that you'll run into when you focus on storytelling, or just when you're doing storytelling. When you're focusing on storytelling, sorry. It will take time to develop a structure and learn how to structure your podcast and tell better stories for your podcast. And during this time, your episodes might sound really rough, and people might not like that, so you'll lose listeners. And also, people might not like the new structure, so they'll stop listening. But those who like the structure will be more loyal because you're providing better or more value to the listener. Okay, that's all I have for this episode. Thank you for listening. I forgot to mention the survey in the beginning of the episode, so if you are listening this far, please fill out the survey. I really appreciate it. If you would like to host an episode of the Open Podcast Community Podcast, reach out to me. Come join the Telegram chat. The forum is now open. The next episode is going to be about the forum. Just reach out to me. We'll talk about it. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye. Okay. Hey, Percy. What's happening, dude? Another example I wanted to bring up for the community, or not, the comedians. Sorry, I'm really flustered. That was a really rough episode. Is Dave Chappelle. But I can't do his voice. Like early 2000s, he had this voice, and it was really high pitched that he would do. And that's another example of like how great comedians are animated. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Great to see you here too. It's been a while. Come join the Telegram chat, dude. Yeah, he's one of my favorites. If you've listened to his recent special that came out last year, he tells this story about Jussie Smollett, and I cried laughing so hard when he did the Nigerian accent. Let me see if I could pull this up, because it was so funny. Dave Chappelle. Oh yeah, he was in You Got Mail too. Jussie Smollett. Dude, is it here? Let me see. Okay.
Just afraid of being attacked.
Oh, can you hear this? Because I have my head. Actually, let me just turn off the headphones.
You know what I'm talking about? Juicy Smouye. He's a very French, very famous French actor.
Yeah, but no, he did an an African accent, repeating the Nigerians that Jesse Smollett used. Let me see if it's in this one.
If you're racist and homophobic, you're not even gonna know who this approach you. Did you see them? Do you have any? Okay, second, Mr. Smouye. Frank, come here for a second.
Oh no, it's not in this one. Ah, Jesus, dude. Yeah, I can't listen to it right now. Actually, I'm gonna cry from laughter. From laughter. It's not weird. It's not weird if it's laughter. Any other reason, any other time you're crying, it's weird, but not from laughter. Keep that in mind. Ah, dude. That episode was really rough. But yeah, it's an important one. Cause I feel. Do you know the comedian I was talking about? I was talking about Pete Davidson, but I don't like to name names on the podcast. But yeah, I don't like him, but I saw a clip from his special, and he was talking about the senator he got elected, and yeah, he was literally like, he was just talking, and I was like, dude, this isn't funny. Ooh, I hit 5,000. Cool. And the thing is, like, I want to be a fan of Pete Davidson because we're pretty much the same age. And so I like watching people my age do good things. But I can't support him. He's not funny. If you're a comedian, you're supposed to be funny. Ah, dude. But there's... Oh. Yeah, exactly. The Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Him and I are the same exact age, and I don't really watch football, but I watched the Super Bowl just because I like him. And also, I'm from San Francisco. I'm from the Bay Area. Like, that was supposed to be a home game, like my home team, and I'm supporting the Chiefs. That's how much I like supporting people my age. I don't think I downloaded the episode, actually. We're about to find out. Nope, I did not. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've heard the name before. I don't know him too well. Um, I know it's too expensive now. I want to move to Texas. Where do you live now? If that's not a weird question to ask. So publicly. Um, oh, okay. Do you like it there? Yeah, I feel it. That's why, not just that, but my sister likes it there. She even named her dog after Austin. My brother lives in Dallas, and I went there over the summer. I really liked it there. I just, I need to live somewhere without snow. So that like narrows it down to like California, Arizona, or Texas. I don't know where else it doesn't snow. Actually, it even does snow in Texas and Arizona. So I live in San Jose, and it hasn't snowed here in 40 years. So yeah, what are you doing like for work? Oh yeah, that's true. Um, so I'm in. If you join, like, where do you work though? Is what I'm saying. Um, yeah, I have to learn another language. Oh, okay, that's dope. Because like learning Spanish opens up so many possibilities for me to live somewhere else, like Spain or other countries that speak Spanish. And I'm Hispanic. I don't know Spanish. Oh, nice. That's what I'm trying to do. Be self-employed. But yeah, I'm working on it. No, I'm in San Jose, like San Jose, California. I don't. The Sharks. If you're into hockey, San Jose Sharks. It's about 45 minutes north of Santa Cruz. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because Santa Cruz is south of us. Yes. See, my only real problem with living here is that it's too expensive. Like, there are other places where you can live a like a good life with $1,000 a month. And here, to live a good life, you need like 15 a month. And I don't think I'd be ever able to buy a house here because these starter houses are starting for 2 million now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a great place, but like now that everyone knows that, um, people are moving there and they have money, and so they're willing to spend that $2 million on that 2 bedroom house that you're only supposed to live in for 5 years. Yes, exactly, the people. And then now it's like to find Bay Area natives here is getting harder and harder. Like I'm born and raised here, but I don't find many Bay Area natives. Like that's when I was in school, um, now at work. And then I read somewhere that like 40% of all real estate is bought by, in California, is bought by people overseas. Storytelling. Yeah, exactly. And it's not just pushing them out, it's just like people are accepting it. Um, my neighbor 2 doors down sold their house for 1 point some shit, and they moved to the Midwest, and they were like 60 something, 70. They'll gladly take that 1 point something, buy a point two house, a $200,000 house in Idaho, and live off that $1 million for 20 years. How storytelling yeah, because the house I'm in right now, my parents bought it for yeah. It's just yeah, it's crazy. And the thing with beachfront property is that it's gonna get destroyed by salt water in the air. So salt in the air, not salt water. And so it's just the nice view, but the house is worthless. Especially after years and years. Now if you go to Santa Cruz and you go to the beach and you look up to those houses, in like 3 to 4 years, those houses are gonna fall. So, is it really worth $3 to $4 million to have that beachfront property? No, of course not. It's not sensible. Oh, um, my parents bought it for like 250 in 98. The one I'm in, this room right here. Yeah, that's a reasonable price. Houses are not supposed to appreciate to 1.2, 1.4. It's ridiculous. And it's not like my parents have put $1 million into this house. It's just, yeah, on the low end, too. Dude, it's getting hot. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm never going to be able to buy a house here. Like, this neighborhood 2 miles over. Yeah, and it's just people, it's those newcomers coming in that want the house. So, like the neighbors, let's just say the neighbors, they'll buy the house for 400,000 next door. Then the next people that come in. So if people came in 2000, they're gonna buy the house for 400. Then yeah, exactly. That's never gonna happen with your PC or car unless you take your PC or car, never use it, upgrade it, and then resell it immediately. Same thing with your car. Unless your car is like your car becomes a classic car. Yeah, it's because as soon as you use it or something happens to your house, like your son throws a dent in the wall over here and you never fix it, your house shouldn't be going up in value that much. It's fucking ridiculous. And that dent in the wall is a true story. I'm pointing directly to it. You never know. There's a possibility. I always tell people I'm a man of math. I never use the word never. Yeah, it's like a chip or something. I don't know what it. I think I threw something at the wall, and it just like took a piece of the wall. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my life. Let's see. This is the 16th. So this would be the 23rd. Yeah, it's not a big. It's like the size of my finger. What do you mean my tech focus? Okay, this is. I got to. Okay, in this episode, I discuss how learning to tell a story can improve. I'm gonna go with your a podcast. Yeah. Oh, I do web development, but like front end. I'm full stack, but I'm not good at back end. But I don't know. This is another problem I'm having with the Bay Area, is that like I'm self-taught at programming. I have a degree in marketing, which I just got this last year. And what I was told was like, you learn programming really well. You can teach yourself, and then you could get a good job. And I think because so many people are really talented and they move here, I don't think that's true in the Bay Area. I think it's true for like the Midwest, where you go to Oklahoma and you can count the number of people that are really good at programming in your area. But I don't think that's true for the Bay Area anymore. It's like you have to know someone to be able to transition from something else to web development or whatever, programming. Yeah, because I spent a lot of January, applying to jobs in web development. I have 2 websites. One, I even used React specifically for the fact that I wanted to get a job as a front-end programmer. And they would just look at my resume and go, no. Yeah, I mean, dude, even honestly, programming wise, I'm probably better than Zuckerberg. It wouldn't surprise me if he hasn't programmed anything in 10 years. Just for that reason, I think I'm better than him. No other reason, though. Because he's focusing on the business side of Facebook. So I'm not actually better than him. I have more recent experience than him. Not that he couldn't learn React on his own. I'm just saying. So yeah, oh yeah, easily, dude. You've seen Open Podcasts, right? Look at this beautiful thing. Sign up. My only problem with the website right now is that it's slow. It is very slow. So yeah, this is built in React, and so because I got a job, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get a job in programming right now, or not ever. I just said never. Sorry. Um, in recent years, let's say in the next 3 years, I don't think I'm gonna get a job in programming or front end. I'm gonna take this, rewrite it in not React, and make it mine. Because right now I have the forum on a discourse thing. On a discourse server. I run this up on DigitalOcean, but what I don't like is I don't have control over everything. Like, let's see. Oh yeah, just this alone. So this is an ad for Transistor.fm, and I can't put that anywhere here. And so I wanted more control over the forum and user experience. Windows. I do not use Apple. I just don't like how they void the warranty if you open it up. And I don't like that command button. I hate it. Because when I switch over, like I help my dad with his work sometimes. And so when I switch over to his MacBook, I'm like clicking the control button, but I have to click the command button over here. It's super annoying and I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm not there yet for Linux. That'll take me a couple years. Yes, 100%. Yeah. It's really funny about Apple is that like Apple started because let me finish. Apple started because they wanted to switch out their they wanted users to be able to switch out their things like how Windows is where I can just open it up and replace the hard drive. And then now they void the warranty if you open it up on a VM. Okay. Yeah. I will. Yeah, so if you want to hop on my Discourse forum, I would love it because I'm the only person on it right now. I just haven't really promoted it. I'm Googling him. Okay. Let me subscribe to him right now. Alright. Cool. Thanks for mentioning them. And nice. I'm only self-taught in web development and podcasting. Don't discount that. What else? Yeah, I've learned that programming, if you just follow the steps, you can do it. Like, my forum, I used a YouTube series to build that. I followed the steps, and then when I wanted to change something, like when I wanted to add an ad, I just figured out. No, I didn't even figure it out. I just put the picture in different places and moved it where I wanted it to be. And now it's exactly where I want it to be. It's just like programming is just figuring out where the pieces go. And that's how I see it now. Okay. Let me write this one. Yeah. Yeah. So how'd you get into security and bug bounties? Tell a story comedians. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think every person's experience with programming just in general is like seeing on TV someone hacking, but they make it more interesting than it is, because you kind of have to, because like programming overall, I was going to say in general again, is just you sitting at the computer and Googling stuff on Stack Overflow. But yeah, I listened to this one podcast called Darknet Diaries, and it's really interesting. It's about like pen testing and how someone got into hacking, stuff like that. It's really interesting. And I tried it once. Like, I tried to get into it, but yeah, what I like about web development, and specifically front end, is you can see it. Like, you can see the elements being changed and all that. So that really helped me like learn how to program, and it gave me more confidence. What do you mean, Tor? Oh no, I don't have any reason to use it. I don't know what to do with it. Uh, is more accurate. Like, I've browsed on it, but I don't know where to go. I'm a big fan of YouTube and watching videos, and so I can just do that on the regular internet. Yeah. Stop talking with your hands and type. What do you do on tour? Telegram, Discourse, Twitter. That's about it. Well, the Telegram and Discourse, I want people to see that so I can make money from it eventually. Specifically the Discourse. And then the Telegram was just the MVP of open podcast. It's a good word. You just hide? Oh, so you do like, you do Google searches on there, or I don't know. Let's check. Yes. But if you really wanted to, like, not give your phone number, you can go to, like, what's it called? You can go to the Apple Store and then just use an iPhone and then use that as your phone number. Because with the phone number, like, you can log in to like the web version. So like download the app on the iPhone in the store, then use that one to create your account on Telegram. Thanks. I mean, what was I gonna say? I don't know. Yeah, for sure. You can always just email me too. supremerumham@gmail.com. As you can see right here. Yeah, dude, I learned that you need to be public to build, especially a community, but pretty much anything. I've gotten so much help from the people in my community. I wouldn't be where I am with 93 members in the community and a discourse forum, a podcast, because there's some days where I'm like, I don't want to do this, and I go to the community and I talk to them and I'm like, I need to continue doing this because I have people that want to engage with people, so I have to keep this going. And yeah, so it's nice being able to interact with people. Comedians and storytelling. Oh, hold on. That's what I think. Yeah, no worries, dude. Take as much time as you need. I really like talking to you, so just the more I can talk to you, the better. But if you need, I don't know, a month, 2 months, a year, I'm okay with that. I really like seeing you on the stream though, but this is probably my streams were more structured, but yeah, definitely my streams are more structured, like doing them on Friday, every Friday, because I was going to school last year, and so I had the time, and then I've been unemployed since January, and so I got a job though, you know that. So my Fridays aren't. Really? My free CodeCamp videos? Dope. I just. Yeah, I miss doing those. Those were fun. But, yeah, I stopped doing them because I start on a Wednesday. I was supposed to start today, but there was a problem with my paperwork. That's great. I love hearing that. Yeah, so there's a problem with my paperwork. I don't know what, but and I wanted to get this out of my head so that it sounds better than it would sound next week. Thanks. I hope so too. It's only a 6-month contract, but it'll be good to make money. And then it's not a very high paying job, but hopefully I don't do the entire contract. It's at Cisco, and so hopefully I'm just gonna talk to people. I'm gonna talk to everyone. I'm gonna talk to everyone in the building. I'm gonna be really crazy for the next 6 months. Yeah, exactly. And then what I want to do is I want to talk to everyone, and then I want to find another job within the company. But my problem with Cisco is that my dad works there right now, and he works night and day, Saturday, Sunday, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna have to find the balance of being crazy and being able to come back to this and record a podcast episode, write JavaScript, because my job doesn't involve JavaScript. All I have on my resume right now is the fact that I went to school and I graduated, and my 2 websites. And so 3 times during the interview, the woman was like, "You know this doesn't involve web development, right?" And I go, "Yes," 3 times. I had to say that. And I had to say it nicely without attitude. And that was difficult for me. I have an attitude problem. No, I don't have an attitude problem. I just don't like, I don't know. I don't have an attitude problem. I don't know. Yeah, so basically, it is a start. But I'm hoping not to finish the contract because it's very little money. Yeah, and I have server fees now. All my websites are hosted on DigitalOcean now. Oh, I have the blog too. How to interview a podcast guest. So, yeah, someone has to pay for that. I would like other people to pay for that. I would like another company to pay for it by sponsoring me. But, I have to work up to that. This is just a 10-year journey. I'm on year 1. Probably less. So, yeah, I gotta grind. Why bring this up? Why focus? on storytelling. The benefits. Honestly, my real problem though is I have a trouble balancing like this and my personal life. I don't know how to do that, so I have to learn how to do that. I have to be able to take a night off and go hang out with people, because I'm really bad at keeping up with like people I went to high school with. I don't know any of these words. Are you talking about the Eclipse Foundation and like the editor? Because I tried to learn Java. Yeah, I know. That's why I have to figure out how to do it. I know that I tried to learn Java in 2017 before I tried to learn web development, and I used Eclipse as my editor. Ooh, 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Alright. Oh! You're talking about getting off DigitalOcean and hosting them with Apache. I don't know how to pronounce that one, and Eclipse. That's a good idea, because right now the blog is costing me $5 a month, and the discourse forum is costing me $20 a month. But that might be by usage. So like if no one uses the blog, or dude, I fucking hate DigitalOcean. Let's see. Okay. Whoa. Okay. So I have $5 right now, and this was a $10 credit, and we're not even halfway through the month. Ouch. Yeah. So I think Nginx. Okay, I got you. Thanks. Okay. So yeah. I'm hoping this is by usage and not just because I have it there. You know what I mean? So that way it doesn't cost me a lot. And then but the blog is actually super popular. Cause I keep track of like my experiences with the podcast. So the websites themselves are hosted on Firebase, which I've never had to charge for. GoDaddy is always, and then I use Porkbun for domains, specifically because I read that GoDaddy, what happened? Oh, they inject JavaScript into your website that helps them make money somehow. I don't know. Yeah, so Friday I wrote an article. I wrote the how to interview someone, and I posted it on Reddit. Very specifically in the podcasting forum, and it was right here. So it got a lot of views. I don't know. I'm really glad that happened though. But yeah, I got some people came to the newsletter, but what I'm really hoping for when I write an article and I post it is that people come to the community, and that didn't happen. Forum, they're not forum, blog.openpodcast.xyz. It was the one I was talking, I keep writing forum. I'm so wrong about it. It's this one. And it's basically just about, like, how to podcast. Or just, like, thoughts I have about podcasting. Basically, I take an episode that I've done on the podcast. I transcribe it and I make it nicer. I'll add stuff. I'll add pictures. I'll even, like, make different points, and then I write it up. I mean, if you listen to the podcast, you're reading the articles basically, because yeah, all of my articles are based on podcast episodes that I've done. We can check. We have the power to check. I don't know, I was checking on my phone. Look, podcasting articles. Building a community around your podcast. I haven't, this is next week's episode. This is comparing, here, let me do this. We'll go down the list of podcast episodes, and then we'll see which one is an article. Running a community, how to build a community around your podcast. Live streaming isn't here. I haven't finished that article. Using your podcast as a lead magnet. It's not here either. Oh, I know why. Because they're all over here. I starred them all. That's why. Okay. Benefits of podcasting. That's right here. 0 ads, I know. Running a community. That's this one. Comparing your big podcasting. That's somewhere over here. Oh, big podcasting. Creating YouTube videos. That was one of my first creating videos. Episode ideas. I don't know. You get the point. They're all... can I... Oh, I can send you messages. Okay. blog.openpodcast.xyz, and the forum. I didn't know I could send you messages. openpodcast.xyz. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, but I should learn Linux. I have a Raspberry Pi, and I wanted to use it as a server for everything, but I think it'd get expensive, because it'd be taking my data instead of like the data from my house, which yeah, so it's either like I pay for it directly, or I pay for it with having to use my own data. And that way, like, I can't do things. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. How storytelling can improve your podcast. What kind of workarounds? No, that's not silly at all. I mean, it sounds interesting, like being able to host my own server. I'd love to do that. I'd also love to mine Bitcoin on my Raspberry Pi too, but that's a whole different thing. My only real problem with that is I'd have to use my own energy. Okay, that'd be awesome, thanks. Let's check MailChimp. I said MailChimp. So, the reason why I logged into this, I forget what, oh yeah, so, I was gonna show you something. Audience, that's it. So yeah, I started writing, and I bring people over. See these two guys right here, they joined the newsletter after I wrote that article. I only got 2, but so it's okay. Sounds good. I'll definitely look into it. I'm looking for things to do that are technical, but like I don't have to do them in front of my computer. I'm trying to spend less time on the computer. So if I can like, I don't know, tweak it without having to look at my computer, I'll definitely give it a try. Would you believe I have a marketing degree, but I really have trouble marketing? Nice. What were you doing yesterday that made you say that? I read an article about how, like, yeah, I didn't get into, like, programming or, yeah, any type of programming, actually, until I was 20 and I was halfway through my degree. And, I didn't want to change my major. Because here, or at least the schools I went to get started in, like, the computer science degrees was like 10 levels higher in math than I ended at. So I ended at math 12, and the beginning of computer science was math 22. So I really struggled with that, which is ridiculous because in web development I don't use math basically at all, especially for front end. And so I was really just interested in, like, well, when I was 18, I was interested in, like, how people grow businesses, and I learned that was marketing. Yeah, I'm turning 23. No, I'm turning 24. Jesus, get it right. I'm turning 24 this month, at the end of this month. Yeah, so I got into web development in 2017, and I was halfway through my degree. So it was like, and I believed the narrative. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it was 10 levels higher than what I ended at. I ended at math 12. I think it was linear algebra. That was what math 22 was. And so I ended at business calc, which was like all 4 calculus classes and 1 meant for business majors. And so, yeah. And then another thing that drove that factor in my major was that I believed the narrative that if you taught yourself and built websites on your own, you could easily get a job. But we've already discussed that. So yeah, now I'm working data entry. Fun stuff. Oh no, I mentioned that. Believe in the narrative that if you learn how to program on your own and know what you're actually doing for a website, that you would be able to get a job, and like not anywhere, but like self-taught programmers being able to get a job if they just learn how to program. And so that's the narrative I believed, and that's why I stuck with marketing. Also, I don't like spending money, and so I didn't want to go back to my first year of college after having half my degree. And so that was a factor too. Especially because, like, after spending 3 years on the first half of my degree, I knew that getting to where I was in computer science, and a computer science degree was going to take longer than 3 years. So, yeah. So that, plus the narrative, I stuck with marketing. And then marketing was really easy for me because it's just reading a book and then telling people what that book said for tests and the degree in general. So I would go to school, come home 6, 7 o'clock, and then at 8, I just work on my website stuff. I remember I was taking a night class my last semester, like December, November, October. I would come home at 9 o'clock, 8:30, shower, eat. 9 o'clock, I was here, watching those videos. It was a 12-hour course, and so in an hour, I'd be able to do like 7 minutes. And so, yeah, I just do the 7 minutes, fall asleep, sometimes at the keyboard on this chair. And yeah, that was what I did. And I was doing all this because I believed it would get me a job. Especially because I didn't have just one website. I had 2 websites. I have this website too. Okay, weird. It's supposed to show the price of Bitcoin right now. Let me try something. Actually, let me use this one. Okay, I think I may have taken that out. So yeah, that was how I don't know, it happens. I mean, what I really want to do is be able to make money on my own, like you. So it doesn't really discourage me to not be able to get a job in programming. 7,000, 8,000. It's been going down with the market. I can check right now. Seven, 8,000. 7,825 and 26 cents, according to the Cash App. And the market, the S&P 500 is down 7.6%. Jesus. I'm not worried though. Actually, wait, I had to check one more. One more. That's it. That's all. Where'd it go? Oh. Yeah, that order's gonna come in. Yeah, so the reason why I'm not worried is because the fall of the market has 3 causes, no matter what. You can trace back every recession, don't get discouraged from getting. Yeah, definitely. I was about to say, it doesn't matter to me what job I have, because my ultimate goal is to create a product, or like create something that can support myself. And so a job is just for me to use that money to support myself and support whatever thing I'm doing until I'm able to make money on my own. Yeah, my dad was telling me that Bitcoin it was at like 9,000, and I remember seeing it at 10,000. Have you seen the market today though? Jesus. 7%. That is ridiculous. So, I was about to say, a recession can be traced back to three things. The change in rates, interest rates, people not paying their bills, and political uncertainty. So that's why usually you notice that when a presidential change, and usually it's Republican to Democrat, that's when the market goes down. Because usually Democrats aren't pro-business, or at least like they want to raise tax rates and people have less money to spend in the stock market or just spend in general. And then, yeah, or they have less money to pay their bills. And so, yeah, that's what I've noticed. Or no, that's what I read. I didn't notice that. But yeah, you can see in 2008, people weren't paying their mortgage. People, higher ups, Wall Street was betting that people would keep paying their mortgages. And then that didn't happen. So then Wall Streeters had to pay that money, those bets. They had to pay those bets off. And so that's what happened. And then also with housing, those people that were allowing Wall Street to bet on if people were paying their bills, they were giving people shitty mortgages. They would give me, someone who's unemployed right now, they'd give me a loan for a $300,000 house, and I'm not going to be able to pay that mortgage off, or just pay the mortgage in general. So then they would wrap it up and then sell that, allowing people to make bets on it. Then I would stop paying the mortgage, and then those people had to call in the debt. Yes, that's where I learned it from. Exactly. I didn't know if you watched it. Another one that I love, I'll send it to you right now. Dirty Money. Yeah. Just in general, I love this this Netflix one. It's very interesting. It gives you a look on how how a lot of other industries work. Like, there's one about the pharmaceutical industry. Sorry, I had trouble coming up with that one. And how the reason why drug prices keep going up is because big pharmaceutical companies, they buy little pharmaceutical companies, then they want to make their profit back, or their money back, right? So they take an obscure drug that's, let's say 100,000 people take that drug, or take this drug, And you're never gonna make money from that drug, right? 100,000 people use this drug. So how do you make money from that company, from that investment, and that company? You jack up the prices. So let's say it's $10 a pill. They make it $300 a pill. And so now that cost gets brought on to that person. But for that person, it only goes up like $1 or $2, right? So where does the other $298 come from? It comes from the insurance company. So I have insurance, you have insurance, but that jack up of that one pill, it maybe costs us $1 or $2 more also. But then you do that with 100 other pills. So now we're paying $100 more for insurance because they want to make their profit back and they know the insurance company will cover it. That's a bad explanation of it, to be honest, but that's what happens. Actually, oh yeah, Delaware. I totally forgot about that. Google is registered in Delaware. Yeah. And also, going back to the documentary just in general, there's new episodes coming out on tomorrow. Wait, today's Monday? Yeah, on the 11th, Wednesday. What else is there? Let me check. Dirty Money, Wikipedia. Okay, so the Volkswagen scandal, payday loans. This is the one I was talking about. This is how HSBC launders money for cartels. The Great Canadian Maple. This one's really interesting. Canada has a reserve of maple syrup, and so someone stole that maple syrup reserve, and so they take you through the investigation and who stole it and why. For something about maple syrup in Canada, it's actually really interesting. And then there's this one on Trump, which I found really interesting just because they go over how exactly he's using the presidency to make money and what exactly he's doing that is illegal. So instead of talking about how he talks to people, his phone calls, they talk about how he's monetizing the presidency. So, for example, when he goes to his golf courses, because it's all in one warehouse, and then I think what happened, I can't remember, because this is 2018, right? And yeah, so I saw it a couple of years ago. I think what they did is they replaced it. So it's like a warehouse filled with barrels. And so they went in, they they took the barrels and then they replaced it with like different syrup that was not as high quality. And dude, the maple syrup industry in Canada is crazy. They have like a cartel for maple syrup, and they go, okay, you can produce this much, you can produce this much, and you could produce this much. They call it the Federation. And then each person has to contribute whatever amount they're allotted to the Federation and to that maple syrup reserve. Yeah, because where does the Secret Service stay? In his hotel. Mar-a-Lago's the one in Florida, right? Same thing with New Jersey. And so he has his events in his hotels and people stay there. And then also when foreign nationals come to the United States, they stay in his hotels. So you have all the Secret Service people, foreign nationals, I don't know who else. Yes, exactly. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like cocaine. If you've seen Narcos Mexico, so Narcos Mexico is exactly, it goes over the origin of the Mexican drug cartels and how they had like how it got started. I was gonna say Federation. They shut down streets and businesses. Oh yeah, that's true, because you have to shut down streets when he goes somewhere. I didn't think about that. Oh, but also like he doesn't make money from the streets, and the businesses get shut down. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's more money than for people in that city. Yeah, dude. Oh, people not paying your bills. Their bills. Right there. Hello, everyone else listening to this conversation. Feel free to jump in at any time. Yeah, so the only problem with Narcos Mexico is that it's really authentic, and it's in Spanish, but you can have the subtitles, but you have to really focus to understand what's going on. Yeah, especially because it explains this in the documentary. they'll give you your allotment, but then they'll tell you, oh, I've been there actually. So going back to maple syrup, um, the documentary goes over the theft, but it also goes, it talks about the Federation, and that they make it really difficult for you to make money outside of the Federation. So they make it hard. Sorry, I'm out of water. They make it hard for you to export your maple syrup to the U.S. And then that's where black market maple syrup comes in. So when they've allotted their stuff to the Federation, they call this guy, or a guy, and he exports it for them, and that's how they make their money outside of the Federation. Yeah. I don't know. It's all really interesting what goes on. I find documentaries like that really interesting to me. Yeah. So, I forget what the other episodes are though. Not, they have new episodes coming out, right? I already said that. I don't know what they're on though. Let's check. Let's check this website right here. Oh, it's about Jared Kushner and how he makes his money. That's one episode. Wells Fargo. I don't know what this is though. Yeah. I wish. Honestly, if I could just watch documentaries about money and scandals, that's all I would watch. Yeah. It's so funny to me that Kushner, people praise him about how, like, he's quiet. And they'll say, oh, he's quiet and smart. And they'll praise the fact that he went to Harvard. It's like, that's not what makes a person smart. Saying nothing is not smart. There's another one you should check out. Screwball. I mean, doesn't 99, let's say 80% of people that are Harvard graduates, they buy their way into Harvard, right? So this documentary that I'm about to send you, this is all on Netflix, is about the steroid scandal in baseball. $15 million. His dad wrote the check. Oh gosh, that's more than Lori Loughlin. Yeah. There was someone, I think they paid $1 million to get their way into Stanford. So this one, it's about steroids in baseball and Alex Rodriguez. It is so funny. So in the documentary, they do reenactments, and the reenactments are like kids that look like the people involved in the story. I was laughing so hard at this because I don't know how well you know baseball, but this guy Tony Bosch, he lives. This all went down in Miami. Um, he he was a big cocaine user, and so in the reenactment, um, he's at a bar, and it's this little kid, and he goes like, and then you just see the sequence of like the kid looking around, and all these colors, right behind him, it's like a sequence of him being high, and it's just really funny. And then there's these other ones where like they meet in a parking lot, and it's just like so funny. I don't know how to explain that one, but it's just really funny. You should definitely check it out. Even if you're not interested in baseball, you'll get a laugh. Oh, dude, Jesus. Yeah. All right, dude. I think I have to go. It's 1:30 here. I haven't eaten lunch today. But yeah, come by the Telegram chat. Twitter as well. Join the Discourse forum. Just email me either. I mean, I'd just love to talk to you more. Alright, cool. Have a nice day. Bye.